Alright guys, so we finally made it to chapter 3 of Time Paradox Ghostwriter. And this was a really pivotal chapter because it kind of really sets the stage for the direction that this series is going to go in. Because Itsuki was a very big unknown and what her relationship was going to be to Teppei, the main character. And now that we've kind of figured that out, we kind of have like a better idea of where the series is going to go. So yeah, the last chapter ended off with her showing up randomly. And then Teppei freaking out because like she's like the main character, not the main character, but she's the writer of White Knight 10 years in the future. And he's like, well, maybe it's like a different person. And then she takes out her storyboards and he's like, oh crap, it's the same girl. And then it was pretty funny because she pulls out her pen and then he gets all scared because he thinks that she's going to like murder him or something because she's like so pissed off that he stole her story. So he runs away and then she chases him down and then she ends up like jumping on him and like bringing like her pen like an inch away from his eye. And then he starts like being like, no, don't kill me, you have a future. And then he tries to explain like the time thing, but of course she doesn't believe him. And then like she was like, what kind of writer are you? Like, what kind of thing can only you tell your audience, right? And she was like, are you just like empty inside? Because she was like, if we share like similar values, I think it's entirely possible that we could have written like similar ideas. And so she wasn't really thinking that he ripped her off, but maybe somewhere. But she was also considering the fact that maybe it was just a complete coincidence and they just happened to come up with similar ideas, because at that point when he quickly read her storyboard and it was like the same general idea, but a lot of like the characters and stuff were totally different. So I mean, I assume that she just thinks that it was like a similar idea they came up with, because it's not like it was like one-to-one what they both did, because it was 10 years prior for her, obviously, so she didn't really fully flesh out her story yet. Anyway, so she asks him like, what can only you draw? And then he gets like flashbacks and stuff, like how he really loves drawing manga, but he hasn't never really had any potential or anything that only he wants to tell the world. And then he just like blows up on it. He's like, yo, I'm just empty inside, right? But I don't feel like people need to have like this grand vision. Isn't it okay to just want to make a fun manga that everybody can enjoy? And then was like a really surprising part, because she's like, yo, I feel the same way. And then she gets all like buddy with him, and then she starts like talking to him, and it's like, oh man, I guess we had the same idea. That's so cool. And then it gets to like the end of the chapter and she's like, yo, I'm gonna be your rival, bro. You might have taken White Knight before me, but you watch, I'm gonna come up with something like 1 billion times better than that. I'm gonna beat you, bro. I'm gonna leave White Knight in your hands, and I'm gonna come up with something different. And then she just takes off. So there were really two major things that happened in this chapter, right? The first thing was that we had like the resolution of that like mini crisis with Itsuki, of how she was going to approach this situation. And it turns out that she was kind of misled in the fact that no, they did not have the same idea. There's actually some paranormal shit going on, but who could predict that, right? And then her relationship with Teppei is now going to be one of kind of like the main antagonist of Bakuman, how they were all like friends, but they were trying to beat each other. Although I guess it's kind of reversed now, because the main characters of Bakuman were the underdogs, where now I guess Itsuki is the underdog, even though it is her story that's winning out, I guess. And then another thing is that she said that she's leaving White Knight in his hands. So in the second chapter, we got a lot of like his depression and how ashamed he feels about it. So hopefully this kind of alleviates his fear and pressure about writing with White Knight. Although I feel like there's still going to be some feelings that he's still just copying her, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if he starts trying to incorporate his own ideas, maybe slowly at the beginning, but then maybe coming into his own more and more. So I wouldn't be surprised if in like the next chapter, or like maybe a little bit later on, he starts trying to add his own originality to it, in order to make it up to himself. it's going to be interesting though, because now Itsuki is going to have to come up with a whole new story and submit it to Jump, and I'm pretty sure she's still in high school, so that's going to be tough for her. So I'm really interested in seeing that dynamic. And then there's still the whole dynamic of like the time stuff. So like, again, this is a really big thing with this series, because there's like the manga aspect and then there's like the time aspect. So it'll just be interesting to see how those two intermingle and pan out. Talking about the manga like itself, like not really the story, but like the presentation, it was like a really beautiful chapter, especially like what some of like the speech bubbles did when he was like conveying like his emotions, and when he was like had that outburst like, I can't draw anything, like I'm empty inside. Like that text box looked amazing. There was also a nice panty shot, but I digress. I'm really interested to see Itsuki's role, as I said earlier, because she is like the secondary main character. So I assume we're going to get more on her. I hope anyway. I hope she just doesn't like disappear and then pops up every now and then. I really want to see more of her, because I think she's like a really interesting part of this series. And then another thing just about the manga in general is that this chapter was 25 pages. But I could be wrong, but I thought chapter 3 normally goes down to the regular amount. So I wonder if that means that we can expect like these chapters to be longer, or if this was just a bit of a abnormal situation and like a once and done thing, and then the rest of the chapters will only be like 19-20 pages as opposed to like 25. So that'll be interesting to see as well. But that's getting a little bit off topic. So yeah, I didn't really have much to say about chapter 3. Like a lot happened, but at the same time a lot didn't happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like there were some cool resolutions, and it was really cool to see the direction that the story is going to now go in. But I mean, there wasn't really anything crazy that happened, like nothing really really crazy. I mean, Itsuki now being an antagonist, like a friendly antagonist, is really, really cool. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I could kind of see that coming. So that wasn't really anything surprising to me. What I am more interested to see actually is how Teppei is going to react now that she has given him permission to White Knight as his own. Even if she doesn't fully understand the situation, that's still a big deal. So I'm really interested to see how Teppei is going to react to that. And I truly think that he's going to start adding his own originality to it, or at least try to. You know, maybe he'll even digress completely from what the future manga issues say. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see. So this is just my quick review of chapter 3. I'm really excited for this series. I'm really loving it still. And I really want to see it continue. So I hope you guys feel the same way. And just let me know in the comments what you guys thought about chapter 3. Did you like Itsuki really not accepting like the time thing and then just making up with him and just like kind of deluding herself into the idea that they had the same concept and whatnot, and now that she's going to be a friendly antagonist? Are you guys cool with that? Did you want it to go a different way? What do you guys think is going to happen with White Knight being serialized now? I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please like this video if you liked what I had to say. Please consider subscribing if you want to see my content in the future as well. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.